Perugia, a city with deep historical roots, invites you to step into its medieval heart, one step at a time. Every corner of this city tells a story, from narrow streets to charming squares, and we are about to discover them together. We begin our walk at Piazza Giacomo Matteotti, a central artery that introduces us to the medieval atmosphere of Perugia. Founded around 300 BC, Perugia has been an important centre of trade and culture since ancient times. In the Middle Ages, the city became an independent republic, playing a major role in the development of Italian politics and art, reaching its peak in the 13th and 14th centuries. On the left, we encounter the Chiesa del Gesù, a 16th century church. Its construction was completed in 1604, and its Baroque architecture impresses with its details. The frescoes inside reflect the artistic influences of the time, and the church is an example of architectural development from the late Renaissance period. We continue our walk on Via Guglielmo Calderini, a street full of history named after a famous Italian architect, Guglielmo Calderini, who lived in the 19th century. He left a significant mark on the city's architecture, and on this street, we can enjoy buildings that preserve the spirit of old Perugia, an important centre of medieval and Renaissance art and architecture. We arrive at Piazza Quattro Novembre, a historic square rebuilt in 1260 as a central gathering place. It has witnessed key events, including the 1500 meeting between King Louis XII of France and Pope Alexander VI, strengthening Perugia's ties with the papal court. Now, we stop at Fontana Maggiore, built in 1277 to 1278 by the Pisano brothers. A Gothic symbol of Perugia, it showcases biblical and mythological scenes. Next to the fountain, the National Library, founded in 1774, houses Renaissance works, including those of Perugino, Raphael's mentor. In front of us is the Cattedrale di San Lorenzo, a Gothic cathedral begun in 1345. Economic and political struggles left its facade unfinished. Over centuries, it saw many modifications, including after a fire in 1487. Perugia was a key cultural and commercial centre in the Middle Ages, and this fountain attracted not only locals, but also visitors from all over Europe. It is a symbol of the city's prosperity, with details combining ancient mythology and biblical tradition. Located in this square, the Palazzo dei Priori, a 13th century Gothic palace, now houses the National Museum of Umbria, once hosting people from across Europe. Nearby, the Biblioteca della Galleria Nazionale dell'Umbria holds Renaissance treasures. Walking through Piazza Quattro Novembre, we see how this square witnessed interactions between various cultures and historical figures, not just from Italy, but from all over Europe. Perugia, as an important centre of art and trade in the medieval period, attracted not only merchants and politicians, but also great figures of the time. We continue on Via della Gabbia, an iconic street in Perugia, where stone buildings tell stories from the city's past. The architecture of the city reflects styles from various historical periods, with a blend of medieval and Renaissance buildings. We now head to Via dei Priori, a prominent street where Perugia still showcases its Renaissance artistic signature, with influences visible in every corner of this area. Walking along Via dell'Orso, we enjoy the old medieval buildings that give the city a special charm. Perugia was an important political centre during the Middle Ages, and the conflicts between Italian city-states mark the city's history in the 13th and 14th centuries. We continue on Via Boncambi, where the 14th century houses remind us of the city's medieval prosperity. The city was under papal control in the 16th century, and the influence of the Catholic Church left a strong mark on the local architecture and culture. We now head towards Strada Corso Vannucci, the main pedestrian street in the city. Here, historical buildings blend with modern cafes and shops, reflecting the evolution of the city from a medieval centre to a modern one. In front of us lies Piazza della Repubblica, a symbolic place in Perugia, with a history dating back to the medieval period. As we walk through the square, the surrounding buildings reveal the architectural transformations that have taken place over the centuries. Every corner of the square tells the story of the city's changes, and the atmosphere is a blend of old and new. We now enter Via Luigi Bonazzi, a picturesque street that brings us closer to the everyday life of the city. It is a charming area with traditional architecture that preserves the historical character of Perugia. On Via Luigi Bonazzi, we find Hotel Fortuna, a historic hotel built in the 19th century, which has hosted many notable personalities and remains a landmark of the city. Our walk continues along Via Luigi Bonazzi, where the urban atmosphere perfectly blends with the charm of narrow streets and buildings with a history of hundreds of years. Perugia is an iconic city that takes us back to Italy's magnificent medieval and Renaissance past, proudly preserving its cultural and historical heritage. We now enter Via Mario Grecchi, a peaceful street that leads us to the heart of the city, offering us a unique urban landscape. Perugia was an important cultural and artistic centre, and its architecture reflects this period of flourishing art and culture. We continue on Piazza Italia, where we enjoy stunning views of the city and its traditional atmosphere. The streets of Perugia maintain their connection to the past, and every architectural detail reminds us of its history. Next, we admire the magnificent panorama from Viale Indipendenza, an ideal spot to fully understand the beauty and grandeur of Perugia. Our walk continues along Viale Indipendenza, an important area of the city that combines classical and modern architecture. Perugia remains a unique cultural and tourist centre, where tradition harmoniously blends with the present. We arrive at the statue of Pietro Vannucci, known as Il Perugino, the renowned Renaissance painter from Perugia. Perugino was Raphael's mentor and a key figure in the development of Italian Renaissance style. In front of us stands Hotel Brufani, a symbolic place in Perugia with a remarkable tradition, having served as a refuge for many notable personalities of the time. We enter Strada Largo della Libertà, an area filled with history where Perugia reveals significant moments from its past, including from the Napoleonic Wars, when the city underwent significant changes. We return to the Cattedrale di San Lorenzo, a symbol of Perugia and a sacred place that preserves the city's history. The cathedral is a magnificent example of Gothic architecture, and its imposing facade reflects the grandeur of the medieval city. We arrive at Piazza Ignazio Danti, a quiet square named after a great Italian scholar, Ignazio Danti, known for his contributions to astronomy and mathematics. Ignazio Danti profoundly influenced studies during this period.
Questo era il mio
The walk continues on Via del Sole, a narrow street that takes us back into the medieval atmosphere of the city. The old streets of Perugia are an open window to the past, preserving intact the traditions and medieval lifestyle.
Anderes Luca Signorelli sono Nazionalgalerie.
We arrive at Piazza Giovanni Battista Rossi Scotti, a perfect spot to stop and admire the city from a new perspective. The stunning views of the city allow us to fully appreciate the architectural gems of Perugia. The admiration continues at the Belvedere area, where the views of the city are absolutely breathtaking. Perugia, situated on a hill, offers impressive views of the Umbria region and the surrounding valley. From here, history and present intertwine, and the panoramas allow us to appreciate the city's architectural diversity.
Oben ist Monteripido, hier unten links ist die neue Universität und dann oben dieser zinnengekrönte Turm, der steht jetzt in einem Tal, der ist viel, viel höher.
We enter Via delle Prome, a lesser-known but fascinating historic street that offers an authentic glimpse into local life and medieval buildings. On our left, we find the Biblioteca Comunale Augusta, a cultural hub that preserves manuscripts and rare volumes from the history of Perugia. We continue exploring the picturesque streets that lead us into the heart of the city's medieval history. These narrow streets directly connect us with the past and the traditions of Perugia, a place that was an important cultural and commercial centre.
Come scriverà 1403? Allora, M sicuro. M. Poi C. I. No. Sì, G.
The walk continues on Via del Sole, a charming place that preserves the medieval atmosphere of Perugia. These cobblestone streets bear witness to a city that, over time, has been an important cultural and commercial centre. Back at Piazza Ignazio Danti, named after the Renaissance mathematician who shaped science and math, it was a pleasure discovering Perugia together. Subscribe and let's embark on the next adventure.